back to the channel. My name's Tyler. Today I'll be hosting your new favorite home renovation show, Extreme Garage Makeover Mountain Bike Edition. Seriously though, today and the rest of the week are going to be rainy. There's no room for riding, unfortunately, so I'm going to be working on this garage project. I've been meaning to do it for a while, and let me show you around. So, this is my garage. I'm super thankful to have a 2-stall garage. So much space, but ever since we moved in here, it's been an absolute mess. We've been renovating the inside of the house, so everything in here is just kind of thrown everywhere. But today and this week are the week I'm finally going to start on this garage renovation. I am going to be focusing on some other things that just need to get done in the garage anyway, but I'm also going to be focusing on some mountain bike specific stuff too. I'm going to create a place to store my bike, to work my bike, to shoot some of these cool videos. So it's going to be sick. Stick around and let's get to work. The first major task for this project was to paint all the walls and ceiling a nice clean white. But before I did that, I had to clear out everything from the walls, including cabinets and a bunch of junk, and get it into the center of the garage. So it was a lot of work. Phew, well, that about wraps it up for that. Got everything into 2 kind of channels. That way I can paint around it on all the walls. I can also paint the ceiling without having a ginormous pile in the middle, although it's still going to be kind of a pain to work around. One thing I forgot to mention is all the cabinets over there came from our kitchen, our old kitchen. We renovated and put in some new ones. And so yeah, we're gonna use all those in the garage. So that's why they were all kind of sitting there already, but they've never been truly installed or anything put in them. So yeah, I'm really excited to actually start using those. But yeah, now we got a few odds and ends to finish up before we start painting. So let's do it. First, I patched up some drywall that needed some patching. It just took a little bit of effort in a couple of spots. And then I removed this old dryer vent. I don't know who in the right mind would vent something to the garage, but I took that out. And then I patched up just a couple of spots with the drywall mud. I didn't bother to do the whole garage, but just wanted to touch up a couple of quick spots with some holes in it. And then I took some time just to get the garage cleaned out. I didn't want to paint on a dirty surface. So I blew it out with the shop vac just to get all the loose dust, as much as I could anyway. And then I took a drywall skimmer pad with a microfiber cloth and just dusted off the walls as best as I could. And yeah, it's not perfect, but good enough to throw a layer of paint on there. So, and you see my kids running around too, so they had fun. All right, with that stuff out of the way, it is officially time to paint. Since it's never been painted before, I'm going to do a coat of primer that's made specifically for new drywall applications. And then I'm going to do 2 coats of just latex satin white paint. It's going to be a blast and it's going to take me a while, so I'll see you in a few days. Officially done painting. That was so much work. It's not perfect, but hey, it's still a garage. You can hear I'm a little under the weather now because it's been about a week, but hey, that is okay. Now, you might be wondering, what the heck is this giant gray wall about? Well, I will show you right now because it's finally time to get to the fun stuff. Woo! Alright, you can probably guess what I'm working on by now, but hey, look at this. Canyon black. How awesome is that?
gosh, this thing is so awesome. I got a Vibrelli wall-mounted bike stand. You can find them on Amazon. I'll put a link in the description. It is only like $35. Mounts any bike practically. These arms are adjustable to fit your frame. And then of course, it's got the Canyon logo out there. It's not perfect, but it looks sick. I love it. So I kind of envision this space not only being an awesome place to store my bike, you can also work on your bike, but also just a sweet spot to shoot videos. This could be a nice backdrop for making any future content. But yeah, what do you think? Let me know in the comments. I think it's sick. All right, next I took the time to reinstall all the cabinets. Like I said, these came from my kitchen, so I reused them and reused the countertop as well. I just had to figure out a new configuration. Whew, that was a lot of work, but hey, it looks pretty sweet. I can't express enough how much that was not a tutorial. In my real kitchen, I used a lot more precision when leveling, shimming, drilling, everything. I also had help do my kitchen, so yeah, not perfect, but hey, I think it looks pretty sweet. All right, now I'm gonna work on a pegboard to hang up my tools, and I've never done that before, so wish me luck. All right, that actually wasn't too bad. They went up pretty easily. Now the hardest part is to find the dumb pegs that I got. My father-in-law gave them to me about 3-4 months ago, and I cannot find them. But that's okay, I'll find them once I organize the whole entire garage, which is happening right now. Whew, it's all organized. It feels so awesome to have a garage like this. I know a lot of people do not have this, and I am so thankful and blessed that I do, and I do not take it lightly. But man, does this feel good. Got all my cabinets organized. Look at this. Electrical drawer, paint cabinet, tools. Feels so good. We got a few more things lying around. We got some stuff over here. Lots of bikes over there. A few things over there. Means I got a couple of cool projects coming your way, and then the grand tour. So let's do it. Here I took this stool I've had since I was a kid and made it look rad to match the rest of the garage. Next I needed to find a solution for my excess bike problem, and there's no way I was gonna spend $40 a piece on some swiveling bike hooks. So I cut down some scrap 2x4s that I had lying around, used a couple of paint sticks as spacers and hooked them up with some hinges I also had lying around. And then I installed these, $1 to $2 bike hooks I got at Menards. Oh, that's my local hardware store. And hung them up there, and it actually works super well. So yeah, let me know if you have questions on how I did that, but it was actually pretty simple. No mountain bike garage would be complete without some shoe storage. And some gear storage. One of my biggest pet peeves with my old garage was that everything would get covered in sawdust every time I'd work on a project. So here I created some rolling carts so I could push my saws in and out of the garage. Here I used some thin plywood, some photo paper, and some crafting glue to make the Midwest mountain bike logo. Hey, if the Dude Perfect guys can get crafty, then so can I. I'm so pumped. It's finally done, and I think it's awesome. Let me show you around. All right, first things first, just a couple of boring things. Got some storage over here with a cabinet, ladder, sawhorses, good place to hang some of the tools for outside. That's the boring stuff. Now we get a little more fun. Got these rolling carts for my saws. I also got the shop vac hooked up and run under here just to cuts out on some of the dust and sawdust from flying everywhere. Up here I got a charging station for different batteries. I've got more than that, but that's what I've got up there right now. Alright, over here I got the workspace. I got this huge deep countertop, work on different projects. You saw me working on a few things before. You can also pull up the stool I've had since I was a kid and do some editing or anything else I want here at this countertop. I got compressor here, airing up tires and anything else I want. Got the tool wall here, which I'm super pumped to have. I've never had anything like that, and it's actually been really handy already. So yeah, pretty sweet. Coming on over here, of course we got the Midwest mountain bike logo, because why not? And then this is actually the box from the Canyon Stoic. I just cut it out, spray painted it, and tacked it up there. I think it looks pretty cool, and obviously it's basically free. And then obviously the storage is awesome. I've got everything where it needs to be. I can find everything easily, and yeah, it's the best. Alright, and then down here I got my shoe storage and my gear storage. This box is pretty cool. When I go riding, I can just pull it off, throw it in my car, and then when I get home, pop it right back on there. Good to go. And over here, nothing exciting, but very useful. Got the recycle bin here, so I don't have to run all the way outside every time. Got a trash can. Believe it or not, I've never had a trash can in my garage, and that is actually coming really handy already. And then just a shoe rack for extra shoes. Got the mowing shoes, work boots, you know, stuff you don't want to keep inside. So, alright, moving on. And we got the bike storage over here. Got all of our main bikes hanging up, easy to pull out, and just makes it really easy to work with. Also got my daughter's scooter there. And this is our bike trailer we use. We use that all the time for pulling our kids when we go on longer bike rides. So really handy, gotta have that out in the open too, so yeah. And parked over here, got my homemade bike stand. I literally just put together all the scraps I had lying around, put a couple layers of paint on there, and then these are the dollar bike hooks from my local hardware store. I used it a little bit when I was putting up my bike, but now that I've got some new storage options, I really just use this as a washing stand. It's easy to pull out of the garage and do the washing outside so then it doesn't get so wet and messy in here. So yeah, it's been really nice. And for those of you who are curious, yes, we can easily fit both of our vehicles in here still. And last but not least, my favorite project. Got the bike display wall, got my Canyon Stoic 2 here, loud and proud hung up on the wall. Obviously the Canyon logo. It's so awesome. Just can't even describe it. This would be a spot that I can work on some of these videos, you know, any of the review videos, product review videos, anything like that. I can use this as a backdrop. And I also have another option, so let's check that out. And here's the other option I've got for a cool video backdrop. Got the Midwest mountain bike logo, Canyon logo, tools back there. I love them both, but I'd love to hear in the comments which one you like better. Please forget the video like if you enjoyed it. Oh, and subscribe. And thanks so much for watching, guys. Remember, make the most of what you got and enjoy the ride. See ya.